What really makes us better people is our capacity to question the status quo to achieve positive change. If you are seeking to adopt new habits, to learn about a kind lifestyle, low-waste living, and speaking up for justice, you have come to the right place. Together, we will make the switch that will light up this world. I'm Morgan, and I'm happy to welcome you on this journey.
Hello beautiful soul, welcome to this new episode. Today is more of a talk and I just wanted to share with you my story in regards to alcohol consumption. And I just want to precise first that I wasn't an addict to alcohol. I was just your everyday average person who maybe from time to time drank some alcohol. I was raised in France, and there quite soon, like even when you're a child, I remember that people would actually get you used progressively, slowly, get you used to alcohol. And just by tasting it, having a few drops of a certain type of drink, and or having a little sugar that was just dumped into some alcohol, and which I don't know why, I don't know if it's really a tradition or anything, but in France we have definitely many different occasions where we have alcohol, and we have this thing when we have family meals that we call apéro, and this apéro it's the appetizer time before starting to eat. We gather and have a drink, and everybody gets their drink, and sometimes even after the meal there's still this kind of appetizer. Well, this time after you have dessert and some coffee, and then after your coffee you have another drink. So alcohol is definitely very much present in our society, and sometimes we might not realize if we're an addict or not. We might not even realize if we actually like alcohol. We don't really understand why we consume it, and so that's why I wanted to just share this story, because it took me this one time to realize that I didn't need alcohol in my life, and that it was actually doing more harm to my body rather than anything else. So what happened was, this happened on the night between December 31st of 2008. So the night between that day and the 1st January of 2019. So it was New Year's Eve, and it was a quite euphoric evening and lots of great food, of course vegan. And I was with some friends at the time, and with my ex-boyfriend, and he and his friends were playing beer pong, which I had already played maybe one time in my life, and I wasn't a fan of alcohol games anyway. But they were kind of playing with me, teasing me, making me feel like I should drink, I should just even just a little, and just to have fun. And on that very evening I was undergoing some bloating with my belly, and I wasn't really feeling at ease. Had a bit of a headache as well, I think. And I've definitely felt some influence there. And somehow I told myself that alcohol could actually worsen my state, and that I could become maybe a bit more sick. And I basically, on my mind, it was clear I didn't want to drink any alcohol on that evening. And then this bloating kind of disappeared through the evening, and I felt like, maybe I could handle a little drink and it wouldn't cause any harm. So when I realized this, it's not at that moment that I drank. Like at that point, I just realized I was feeling better, but I still didn't want to drink. And then after playing beer pong, after my friends played beer pong, some of them went to see the fireworks. And then when they came back, we all went out and went to a bar, a kind of, a pub in Cologne in Germany. And I remember that on the way, I think it was when we got out of the subway, one friend was like he couldn't finish his beer, and I was like, oh, come on, just give it to me, like I will help you. And I don't even know why that idea came to my mind. I guess I wanted to kind of prove something, to prove that, if you drink some alcohol, well, then you're a fun person to hang out with. And I don't know, I fell into that trap. And then when we were at this bar, all my friends, like one after each other, started ordering different beers, many beers, and they always came on this tray. And if you're German or if you live in Germany, you might know what I'm talking about. They're called Kölsch beer glasses, and the Kölsch is a type of beer in Germany, specifically in the area where Cologne is, and those particular types of glasses are definitely quite short. They're not really high and they're not really bulky. They're quite thin, so it's kind of I guess a bit luring, like a bit tricking, because you don't really feel like you're drinking a lot. And the atmosphere was basically just so euphoric, and everyone was so friendly, and I even danced with strangers, like a kind of Celtic dance, and I was really feeling just so happy. And I thought, oh, come on, if you just take one glass, like, it's not gonna be bad. And then I didn't even realize that I was probably past my third glass of beer. Took 1, 2, 3, and then I don't even remember. I don't know how many glasses I ended up drinking. And then we were done probably about like at 2 a.m. in the morning. And by the way, if you know me, or even if you don't, I'm not the type of person to stay super late up. I used to stay quite late up, but now I'm more a person where I wake up very early to get like things done as much as I can, and then I try to go to bed as well early, so that I can get my 8 hours of sleep, and I just feel better that way. So I don't like staying up late. And we took off from that bar at 2 a.m. and we were heading back home with the subway. And in the subway, I wasn't feeling really at ease. I could tell like my heart was really rushing, like beating so fast. And I know 100% that when this happens, when my heart starts really rushing like that, I knew I'm going to vomit. And I didn't want this to happen. I hate vomiting. I literally feel like I'm dying, because I feel like I suffocate. I cannot breathe, and I just feel like I'm gonna die. So I really get pretty sick when I vomit, like mentally sick. I hate it. And I get really anxious and paralyzed. And then it happened. Right in the middle of the subway, I puked in the middle of the subway. And I felt so ashamed and fearing the reactions of others. I kind of started to laugh, like to kind of mask my fear of judgment as a shield against others' judgments. And I literally shouted in the subway, "Yeah, it's my first time puking from alcohol," like if I was proud of it or something. And which is, there's nothing to be proud of. Like, I could tell by the way I felt and my heart beating so fast, like there was nothing to be proud of. And then we got back at the apartment where my ex-boyfriend was living at the time, and I tried to fall asleep next to him, and I couldn't. Obviously, I was feeling like shit, and my heart started rushing again, and I knew it was gonna happen again. So I rushed to the toilets and vomited one more time, and then got back to bed. Had a really hard time falling asleep, but eventually I did. The next day I felt like shit. Like, all I can remember is feeling so much like shit and having headaches the whole day, and my belly being so like weird and just like this. If you're watching the video on YouTube, that's how my belly was, how it felt at least. And I just felt so disgusting, because to me it was like I had betrayed my body by doing something that I knew innerly was wrong and that I didn't want to do. And so after that day, I really thought, there is no way I'm gonna ever drink again. I don't want to drink alcohol again. And like, I drew that conclusion by gathering all the different emotions that I had been experiencing on that night. I could see that I experienced much more stress and pressure from others, and anxiety and shame and uncomfort than joy. So there was maybe like 20% of joy that night that I truly felt, 20% of euphoria, and the rest was stress and fear of judgment and pressure. So the joy I experienced from the effect of alcohol was actually short-lived in comparison to all the stress that I put my body and mind through on that night. So after that day, I just promised to myself that I would never touch alcohol again, for the sake of my health and of my body, which I want to treat my body the best way possible during this lifetime, because it's the only home I have, it's the only body I'm given, so I just want to take care of it. And then after that day, I also started questioning people around me and questioning the social aspect of alcohol. And I just noticed how the majority of people drink alcohol because they are in the presence of other people drinking alcohol. And it's kind of a replicating thing, like you just try to mimic others' behaviors so that you can be or feel accepted. And I always have the sensation that there is this kind of latent pressure which people don't really realize or don't want to reckon. And alcohol consumption is just so embedded in our society and normalized that no one dares to question it or acknowledge that it fucks us up. It makes us addicts, it disturbs our sleep, it affects our body in many negative ways. And after this day, I went on Google straight away and I checked out how does actually alcohol affect our bodies. And it turns out it affects all of our organs. And it's so disturbing for me to see that how people put you in a box if you don't drink alcohol. You're automatically qualified as someone who is not loose, someone who doesn't know how to have fun, someone who's not funny, someone who's strict. And so I started to ask some friends and my colleagues at that time if they would drink at a meal or at a party if no one else was drinking. And it made them actually pause for a while and start to reflect. So I think we can all at least ask ourselves why we do certain things. And I did the same after experimenting no shaving. I just let my body be free for a while, and I was questioning why was I actually shaving, if I was doing it for myself or for others. And after it turned out like I was definitely partly doing it for others, but it provided me more pleasure of doing it, like it was more my own will. So I decided to consciously and mindfully do it. Like I shave because I feel better that way, and it doesn't matter what people think about it or not. And you know, people should shave or not shave if they really want to. And I think it's up to you to decide if you want to drink alcohol or not, but at least you should ask yourself why you do it and be aware of the consequences that come with it, because it can cause a great deal of harm, and much more than we think. We have people dying probably daily in accidents, in car crashes, because someone had a certain amount of alcohol in their blood. So I will definitely link some more information on the effects on alcohol. And yeah, I was just so grateful for this experience. I think that this happening to me made me realize how strongly pressured I felt to drink alcohol in social surroundings, while in fact I never even really liked it. I never liked the taste of alcohol. I never enjoyed the experience around it. It was never for me. And I lied to myself this whole time just because I wanted to fit in a mold that I wasn't even meant to be in. And yeah, now I've just gone my own path after lots of reflection on alcohol and how it made me feel. And I just know that I feel much better in my skin, I feel much better in my mind, and much lighter without alcohol in my life. And knowing that I don't put this pressure on myself, knowing that I don't put this poison in my body. And yeah, I would just love to hear from your side, hear your experiences, your stories, and just feel free to share your thoughts with me on alcohol. And yeah, I hope we'll keep in touch. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.